My phone has unfortunately deceased.
No, not the Nexus 5.
Yeah, 5X.
5X, yes.
There was an unfortunate incident involving the ground and my phone.
Oh dear. You just dropped it, did you?
It was kind of more of a drop and then an accidental crush. It was just really unfortunate. Like, I was wearing my track pants, and I know they have shallow pockets, and it just, like, it kind of fell out the back of it. And then when I went to, because I thought it had fallen to the side, but it fell to the back. And when I went to step back to grab it, I didn't really look back properly, and I
You stood on it?
pretty thoroughly crushed it.
Oh no.
Yeah.
When was this?
This was this afternoon, actually.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Disaster.
I actually don't, because it kind of bent as well, so I don't think it's going to be repairable.
What are you going to do now then for a phone, Alex?
Well, I don't know, I need a replacement.
You do.
Oh, so many phones.
That is unfortunate. So you just cracked the entire screen and bent it in half, did you?
Well, it wasn't bent in half, but it definitely bent. I knew when I stepped back that it was all over.
You heard a crunch, did you?
I heard a crunch.
How did it bend in half, though? Was it like half on something, half on something else?
Yeah, it was like a crack in the pavement, and it was just different heights.
Well, that's just unlucky.
Yeah.
On multiple counts.
Oh, yeah. I've begun to just expect it, though.
Disposable phones.
Right? So, how are we with phone recommendations? Do you want to know another thing, David? I read your articles for this week, so I'm super well prepared.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What did you think of my little animation?
Okay. Well, I definitely read your articles. I wasn't kidding about that. Which little animation are we referring to?
The one I sent you on Slack.
We've got quite a few Slack channels running now, and it does get a bit confusing sometimes. So, do you remember which Slack you sent it to me on?
I think it was directly to you on Tangential Soup.
Right. Sorry, when I said I'd read it all. Oh, no. I don't think I'm signed into the other Slack through my tablet, and my phone is obviously broken.
Oh, no.
Okay. I thought that I had... I thought that I'd read everything, but I don't remember reading something about an animation. Was it something you had designed yourself?
Yeah, I put it together.
What's my email address? God. I know that we had a big discussion about password security the other day, but I still haven't changed my passwords. Also, to anyone listening, please don't steal stuff from me. I'm so poor. All right, here we go. Oh. Yeah, sorry, I didn't see that. I think it didn't display on my phone. Oh. I love it. Oh my god, that's hilarious.
I know you don't have a cat, but that's just artistic license.
Oh, no, definitely. That's really funny.
Because I wanted something to put on Facebook and Instagram, but because they always mute the audio, I wanted something to, make people interested enough to unmute it.
Yeah.
If possible.
Wow, that's hilarious. Really good.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Oh my gosh. I would actually show people that. Myself.
Well, I'll post it later on today, I guess.
Yeah, do it, definitely. Oh.
Here's a quick stats update.
Oh yeah, how are we doing?
We're up to 178 downloads. Our last episode has been downloaded 41 times.
Oh wow, we've hit the big time.
We have now got listeners in the United States, Australia, Canada, the UK, China, Germany, Kuwait, and Mexico.
Oh my gosh. Guten Tag to our German listeners. Where are our Russian listeners, though? That's my question.
I don't know. The Russian thing keeps showing up here, and it always has a dash next to it. And it's really confusing me. I don't know if it's a bug in this tracking software or what, but
I think they're just rubbing in the fact that we don't have Russian listeners.
it's been showing
Everyone
up there
else
since
has
the start. But yeah,
it's so common that it's permanently displays Russia because
maybe
everyone. That's not us.
we're going big in the US now, though.
We are definitely, yeah. That's amazing. Do you know what interests me? I mean, perhaps people just aren't listening to our first ones, but how come our most recent ones are getting so many more downloads than the first episode, for example? I mean, wouldn't you listen to the first episode? I know we probably agree that it's not the best episode, but
Well, I put that little pilot tag there now, so hopefully that'll discourage people a little bit. I don't know. I think there's two types of people, right? If you're just finding a new podcast, you'll either listen to the very first episode or the most recent episode.
Oh, that's actually a good point. That's what I do with Hello Internet.
And it seems like, I guess, the people that are finding us are more the people that listen to the most recent episode.
Right, okay. Well, that would actually make sense, to be honest.
Which is good, because our most recent episode, I think, is the best of a lot of them.
Well, that's great. That's great. That's really good news, actually.
Yes.
Getting better as we go along. Although I think it's fair to expect some ups and downs.
All right, so you watched, listened to, read a few things, did you? What exactly have you read? Because it's been a while since I've looked at whatever I posted.
Oh, really? Well, the first one is about the types of people that leave shopping carts abandoned in car parks of shopping centres.
Ah, yes, the shopping trolleys. That was a good article, wasn't it?
It was a good article. And I don't know, I love the way that they kind of went into the types of people that actually leave shopping carts lying around. And also as well, it went on to kind of describe the types of people who will, litter as opposed to the types of people who will not litter, and how people's environment affects how they act. So if you're in a place that you perceive as already having, a lot of litter and having been damaged and potentially vandalized a lot, you're a lot more likely to add to it than you are to a nicer place.
Maybe you could just summarize it quickly.
So basically the article started off by talking about shopping trolleys that have been left in supermarkets.
In the car parks.
In the car parks, yeah, and what the supermarkets could actually do about it. And they said that there were, I think, 5 different types of people who shop and who might, or who will be in a situation where they can either return their cart to one of the racks, or they can leave their cart sitting there and let a cart attendant or a car park attendant get it themselves. And they also said that there are several types of conditions in which someone might collect or might be influenced to leave their carts sitting where it is or to actually return it to a bay. And basically the 5 different types of people were, I think, one was a type of person who would just leave their cart anyway, believing that it was the duty of the supermarket or someone else's problem to take care of. There were people who would not leave their cart regardless of external influences. There were people, I think, who were motivated by certain things, like returning their cart to the bay with their children or something like that. Gosh, I'm just trying to remember the exact details of the article. And there were 2 other types of people that were basically influenced by their environment. So saying if there were already lots of carts sitting around and the car park looked fairly neglected, they would just leave their cart sitting where it was, as opposed to a clean car park with no carts lying around, then they would generally return their cart to the bay.
Yeah.
And then the article went on to describe how basically the environment affects people.
And then they did some social experiments with other situations.
Yes, they did. Yeah, such as leaving leaflets on people's car windows in different situations. So in a situation where the cars were parked in graffiti alleys, just to see what people would do with the leaflets, and generally in the messier, more kind of vandalized areas, people would just generally chuck their leaflets on the ground, as opposed to the nicer areas where people would more generally throw their leaflets in the bin.
Mm.
And
the percentages were quite different, weren't they? It was sort of like 30% up to almost 60-70%.
Well, I think it was, yeah. They were suggesting about 30% of people are not going to be influenced by their environment.
It was 33% that in the non-graffitied alley left their flyers on the ground, compared to 69% threw their flyers on the ground in the graffitied alley.
It's not really surprising, though, is it?
It's not hugely, but yeah, it talked about if you don't feel a sense of responsibility by the broader surroundings, you'll just do what is selfishly motivated and best for you right this second.
Yes. Yeah, I think that was just generally it, yeah.
Mm.
But you see, I'm not actually sure what I would do in those situations. I always tend to return my cards, but I'm not actually sure if it's just because, generally speaking, Australian supermarkets are car parks are quite well looked after.
Mm.
So I'm not really the type of person that likes to see shopping carts lying around. So if I have the choice, I'll return it. But perhaps if it is a very derelict area, I won't bother.
It seems like we also have a lot more of those ones where you have to put the coins in to actually get them in the first place, which I think the article does mention briefly does make a large difference.
Do you know, for me at least, I don't actually use a lot of shopping carts, I've got to say, because I don't have a car. But I haven't noticed them in shopping centres around Sydney. At least certainly in the inner city shopping centres. But perhaps that's the point, and maybe in the country areas where you're more likely to have people also run off with shopping carts. Maybe that's where they're more frequently used. All right. I'm back.
All right. Yes, well, I'm sure you're very responsible and never would leave a shopping trolley behind. You always return it back to the bay.
Let's never say never, but
Oh, come on. You wouldn't just leave it in a car park next to you.
Look, generally speaking, no. I don't want to say never, though, because, I mean, you never know. Like, what if it's super rainy and, there are shopping trolleys everywhere and there's, a suspect pile of red-looking stuff in between you and where you've got to drop your trolley off, and you can hear gunshots in the distance, and you think, what if I die taking this shopping trolley back to the bay? And you don't know you might die. So instead you think, look, this car park can take one for the team. So you just leave the shopping trolley there and drive home and think, there's a twinge of guilt in the back of your mind, but you don't really think about it because, you could have died.
Yeah, but that's fairly mitigating circumstances.
Well, look, it is, definitely. Nobody's denying that.
Almost never. What about littering? You never litter, do you?
I don't know.
Apart from dropping your phone on the pavement.
Yeah, even then I picked it up.
Yes.
To deduce that it was broken, and I took it home and put it on the mantelpiece.
Yes.
I should really just keep a collection of all these old phones I've got. Bloody sad story, that's what it is, David.
Alex's phones through history.
Yeah. How many have I owned? Enough to make it quite an inefficient.
I only know of 3. You had the Xiaomi Mi 4, killed that. Yeah. You killed the one with the big battery. What was that, a Mizu or something?
Ucatel.
Yeah. You killed that. Weren't they both in a similar way?
Yeah, I dropped them. They've all been in a similar way. I've dropped them all.
Didn't you put a weight on one of them? Or was that your friend's
yeah,
on?
No. Yeah, well, I didn't put the weight on, but my friend did. Yeah. Yeah, so sorry. The Mi 4 actually did get weighted.
And then he had the same phone and he killed it in some boating accident.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, he was fishing and some guy with his dog came along, just walking his dog, obviously. And his dog grabbed my friend's fishing rod and started to, do what dogs do and just kind of growled and played with it. Broke the fishing rod. My friend's phone fell out of his pocket and smashed on the ground. And then the guy with the dog just basically, kind of got his dog under control and ran off.
Oh, dear.
Causing, a snapped fishing rod, which wasn't cheap, and a broken phone, which also wasn't cheap.
Well, that's just rude.
Yeah, no, it's really rude, actually. Criminally rude, I would say.
Yes. Trail of destruction.
It's one of those situations that you hear, well, at least certainly I hear, and I always think, my God, just some people.
So what's your roast for today? Pork belly.
Yeah, so today's roast is pork belly. I bought a vegetable to go with it, but I don't know the name of the vegetable.
A vegetable.
If you look at the list of items I bought on the checkout, it's a pear. But I couldn't find it, and I was looking for it, and I accidentally tapped pear when it was sitting on the scale. So I thought, oh bugger, I've already bought a pear, but I'll buy another lot of pears. So yeah.
Fair enough, because you were doing the self-checkout.
Yeah, I was doing the self-checkout, so it's a pear.
Can you describe me this vegetable?
Yes, it's almost looks like the bottom of a bunch of celery.
Okay.
Kind of a fat, bulbous bottom.
Bok choy?
No, not bok choy, but similar look to bok choy actually, with a kind of thin stem pointing up from kind of the center of the bulb. When I chopped it up, it was a bit. What am I looking for here? It was almost like a bit kind of cabbagey, but a lot thicker than cabbage.
Okay.
It had when I smelt it, it had a kind of almost a licorice, like an aniseed type smell to it.
Okay.
It's whitish with the stem going to green, and I found it in this recipe for pork belly. So basically, what I'm going to be having is pork belly with sweet potato, this mystery vegetable, and onion, and I've drizzled it all with a maple and Dijon sauce. Yeah, should be good. But I lost the recipe after I got it. Like I found the recipe and then I've lost it, and I couldn't find it again because my phone broke. Maybe it was the taste recipe. Oh, you know what it was? It was the taste recipe. Ah, there we go. So it's fennel.
Ah, fennel.
Yeah, which I'm still not really sure what fennel is, but
2 fennel bulbs, trimmed thickly, sliced lengthways.
Yeah, you see, I didn't slice mine lengthways.
Already going off recipe.
Well, I wouldn't really say I was ever particularly on recipe. I mean, I definitely had some of the recipe, but I also, have deviated from it quite strongly.
How did your bacon and banana pancakes turn out?
So, as you saw from the picture, look, they weren't terrible. I was a bit limited. Like, I had Nutella instead of... So even after my Nutella rant, I actually did buy some Nutella because I couldn't find any chocolate sauce. I have a supermarket near to where I work, but it's quite small. So I suppose they were limited in what they had.
I see, yeah.
And so I bought Nutella instead of the chocolate sauce, but I got all the rest of the stuff. And as I showed you in the pictures, it actually looked like someone's taken a poo over my...
It doesn't look great.
over my bacon, chocolate, banana pancakes.
And with the poor lighting, I almost thought it looked like asparagus because it sort of had a green tint when I looked on it on my phone for some reason. I'm like,
oh, really?
That's interesting.
Look, I think for my cooking corner, it's not exactly a success. I wouldn't call it.
Put that one in the maybe pile.
Yeah. Look, I think the problem was you want to have one sweet thing, you don't want to have two, and I had the banana and I had the chocolate. So I think what makes the sweet stuff good is if you've got a lot of savory stuff and you put a bit of sweet stuff with it. So maybe for the pancakes, take out the banana.
You don't think the problem was the Nutella substitution? Whether we just had a plain chocolate sauce, it might have come together?
Look, I don't, because it was still a bit sweet. Yeah, I think remove the banana, maybe try to warm up the Nutella a bit so that it's smoother and more runny. Because part of my problem was that it was just cold Nutella that I'd slapped on top of it.
Yeah. Unceremoniously.
Yeah, quite unceremoniously, yes. And yeah, maybe a bit better presentation. So I was a bit rushed, and that was actually my dinner as well, which I think we can all agree wasn't a particularly healthy dinner.
No.
Yeah.
But still, it was whatever day it was. Thursday night, Friday night.
One of those nights.
Late in the week,
Yeah, a bit relaxed. I actually went to the gym on Thursday and did a leg workout for the first time in a while. I don't know how much you know about the gym, but there's there are types of people that go
Very
to the gym.
little.
Well, I mean, this isn't really so much a gym thing, I think, as a humanity thing. But there are people that go to the gym and they only work their upper body. They don't really work on their legs. So when I say work, I mean, exercise their upper body to build muscle on it. And they end up looking very top heavy. So they have, quite large muscles on their arms and their shoulders and their back and their chest. And that looks quite good. And then you look at their legs and they're stick thin. And they are the source of much derision among gym goers. And they're called chicken legs. And I've never really kind of subscribed to the whole... I mean, I do go to the gym with the hope of building muscle, but I also go to the gym with the hope of building strength and just staying generally fit. So, it's not really my primary concern to go to the gym and get big muscles. But for some people, it is. And some people, obviously, they only work their upper body. But I think most serious people will do upper body and lower body stuff because, you want to get stronger to build more muscle and so on and so forth. And I've never really subscribed to the whole just working one part of your body. And I tend to work quite generally. I might do a day where I work my upper body and then I'll do another day where I work my lower body. So I don't really focus on specific muscle areas. Some people will go to the gym and just work their arms and perhaps their shoulders.
Yeah.
And although I have done that, it's not something that I do super regularly.
You're more of an all-rounder.
Well, I try to be. But just recently I decided that my upper body is a lot weaker than my lower body, and I wanted to try and focus on it a bit. So over the next month or two, I just decided to primarily work my upper body and only do a few leg days, or do a few days where I work my lower body. And on Thursday, I did a day where I worked my lower body after probably a couple of weeks of not... I mean, I do a bit of running, and I obviously still do karate, which does stuff for my lower body. So it's not like it doesn't do anything, but I did, quite heavy weights, and it basically crippled me. My legs weren't really working. On Friday was okay because it was the day after, but it's usually the second day.
Yeah.
That's the worst. And I actually had a pretty sore third day as well. My legs still hurt quite a bit. So obviously I did a good job of working them, but I've also broken them a bit as well.
Maybe overdid it just a smidge then.
I don't really think so.
No?
Well, maybe
it's all right to be crippled.
Well, maybe it's not all right to be crippled, actually, now that you mention it. But I enjoy it because it makes me feel like I've done a really good workout, As opposed to... Sometimes I go to the gym and I feel like I just had a bit of a soft day. I went there, I didn't do much. I didn't feel like lifting much. I just kind of came out of it thinking, meh. Yeah. Yeah, and that's basically it.
Stepped up your karate training yet?
Not hugely at this stage.
Going full ball?
Well, look, I think I train a decent amount. I was thinking about it the other day, and I think I do train a decent amount, but not as much as I could. Let's put it that way. And I know that I whinge about the weather a lot. And I do whinge about the weather a lot. I'm not gonna deny that at all.
Bit cold up there at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, today was all right, but I feel like it gets under 10 degrees here, which is just unreasonable. I keep looking around expecting to see some Arctic animals, a penguin and a polar bear. Just.
Yes, I'm sure our German listeners can relate.
Well, I mean, when you're used to the hot weather, which I am, and I enjoy it. and it goes cold, I must admit, I get a bit sullen about it. I think, what's the deal with this? Do you know what TV show I'm watching at the moment? Sense8.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that in terms of the name. I don't actually know anything about it.
Apparently, a couple of days ago, Netflix cancelled it. But I think there are a couple of seasons out, maybe.
You don't want to be watching a failed show, Alex. It could end unsatisfactorily.
Well, I'd say it's probably going to be honest with you. But
you're on the journey now.
Yeah, I'm already invested. Do you know what? I said I read all the articles and I didn't, but I read another. I read one of your other articles, and it was the AI paint namer, or the AI color namer.
Oh yeah, I didn't actually read that one myself. I just thought it sounded interesting.
Oh, that one was so funny.
I meant to read it.
That was actually really good.
Maybe you can tell me what it was about.
So basically, Shane, I don't know who Shane is, someone who obviously has access to AI technology, used an AI to name paint colors. And basically what she did is gave the AI 7,700 Sherwin-Williams paint colors along with their red, green, blue color value to see if the AI could invent new paint colors and give them attractive names. And so basically what happened is so basically she went through a couple of steps to get the AI to learn some things, and there were ups and downs. The AI seemed to like greys and browns, I think, a lot,
which makes
sense.
And
it also misnamed a lot of colors, so it would call
caring tan.
Yeah, exactly. So it wouldn't actually give them names of the colors that they were. So like the Saria grey, which is a greenish color, and Sane green, which is purplish blue.
Dorkwood.
But some of the names that come up here are so funny. So like it starts at Cardiac Fug and Snowbonk, and then it goes on
Cat Babble
to Stargood and Light of Blast, and then gets on to things like Cinder's Poop and Stanky Bean.
Nice sort of pinky colour.
And Bank Butt.
Yeah, Bank Butt.
And Bun Flow. And Turdley.
Yeah. That one almost fits.
It does.
Yeah.
But I think that we can all agree that Stanky Bean is the best. That is really a colour that I want to use.
Yeah.
when I paint my walls that colour and people come into my room and say, "Oh, Alex, what's this lovely colour you've got on your walls?" Yes, that's Stanky Bean.
Oh dear. It is funny watching AI try to do things like that. Just so far removed.
Oh, it's so brilliant. I would laugh at that one, so thank you for sharing it with me, even though you didn't yourself. And one of the things you've also listed is fidget spinners, which I have tried myself and have a lot of strong opinions on.
You've tried them? I haven't even tried them. They just seem to be everywhere. So I thought, maybe we should get on the bandwagon and talk about it briefly.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, having tried one myself, I can tell you that they're absolute garbage.
Garbage?
Useless garbage.
I thought you were going to say they're absolutely the best thing.
No. Well, let me give you a bit of context. So at my work, we have it's this little box of stuff that sits in the printer room. And basically, they're just little, I suppose, odd bits and bobs that people can buy from, I don't know what the company is, some company. It'll have books, it'll have gadgets. There was one time it had this toy that you press the button on, and then it's really loud and annoying, and it kind of echoed throughout the whole office. Just basically something else to feed the capitalist society that we live in and allow people to purchase useless gadgets and useless things. and they had a fidget spinner in the box. So I tried it out. And do you know what it does? You just hold it and then you spin it.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
Yeah.
And I must admit, I put my tongue on it to see if that would do anything. It didn't. And then I just ended up licking all three of the blades as they went past. So if anyone's thinking of doing that, probably not your best idea, especially for a fidget spinner that other people have been using quite frequently.
Yeah. I'm not exactly sure what possessed you to do that, but interesting idea.
Thank you. Anyway, well, for the next person that does it, they'll be licking not only people's fingers, but my tongue. Although what's to say if somebody else didn't do it before me? So
exactly. Yeah. If you had that idea, it might have occurred to someone else.
Yeah, seems likely, doesn't it?
So you think they're just a bit useless? It was just meant to be a harmless toy to pass the time. Keep your fingers occupied while your mind's at work, I think is the idea.
Every time I criticize these things, I find out that there is a genuine reason behind why they're so popular. But the first thing that occurs to me is, why the hell is this stupid thing so popular?
Well, it is kind of crazy how popular it is.
Is it just good marketing? Maybe that's it. Just really fantastic marketing of this useless little gadget.
But I'm not sure who's exactly marketing them, because it's not like they're made by one manufacturer. They're now made by like 100, people with different brands on them.
Yeah.
And it's not like anyone's got a patent for it, I don't think. Or if they do, then that patent's being broken all over the place.
Maybe it is. Who knows?
But regardless, it seems like I haven't seen any official marketing from anyone, right? I've just seen it like on YouTube, people are talking about it. I've seen it like signs on news agencies saying, we've got fidget spinners. There's like little pop-up stands in shopping centers that just sell fidget spinners. I don't understand where they're all coming from. Wow, it's gotten so big, but it's just everywhere.
So I Googled it, and the first article that popped up was from the Birmingham Mail, and it's titled, "Are Fidget Spinners Safe? All you need to know about the new craze that some schools have banned." Yeah, wow, okay. Well, I mean, given the choice, I would ban it as well, because, I mean, seriously.
Surely they're not that dangerous.
Well, I wouldn't
unless you lick them.
And even then, it's probably because people have been using it and picking their nose at the same time.
Yes.
Probably best not to think about, really. I mean, I've already eaten all the boogers.
Thanks again for joining me again this week, Alex.
Not a problem. Always a pleasure, David.
You can follow us on Twitter at Tangential Soup. You can find Alex at his house. You can find me at Dave O'Caddy on Twitter. Very bogan, I know. And yeah, we'll see you again next week. Bye.
Ciao. So, I got a little bit done. Not too much. But, not too little as well.
Just the right amount.
I wouldn't say just the right amount. Maybe too little. If we had to err on either side, it was probably too little.
Not the Goldilocks amount, then.
No, definitely not. But I still did a bit of dialogue. Sorry, a bit of opening dialogue, that is.
Yes, I have to say I haven't actually read it yet.
That's all right.
But I'm sure it's good stuff. I've been pretty busy. I actually worked yesterday morning.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Why were you working yesterday morning?
Just because got a lot to do and not much time. So went in to the office. No one was there. Got more done than usual, probably.
Yeah, I'm starting to get to that point with my work as well, where I just don't get anything done during the day because I'm just like, there's always something else. People are always wanting something.
Yeah.
By the end of the day, I just think all I did was just deal with what came to me. I didn't actually deal with anything that I had to do.
Yes, exactly.
Unfortunate, but I suppose inevitable in some cases.
How'd you go?
Yeah,
Axel?
anyway.
Did you get your start screen done?
Yeah, I'm just fiddling with it now. I'm doing actually wasn't sure if we're doing portrait or landscape, so I've done two versions.
Oh, cool.
It doesn't look like much there. I'll just upload it in a couple of minutes.
Well done.